Hey, I'm Noah,
Hey, I'm Tim.
and this is our ongoing comic strip AP of Dogs in the Vineyard.
So it is summer, and this session I am playing Sister Clementine.
Yep, and I'm GMing again, and kind of in our brains, this is like the beginning of season 2 if this was a show. You know, we ended with seeing our flashbacks, and now we are actually going to go back to Hooper, which was episode 1.
Very first town.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's kind of like, all right, well, let's see this place in a new light from after seeing our characters change so much.
Sunrise, sunset.
Yeah, so let's jump into it.
Let's do it. I'm riding across the high plains with my brother Edwin at my side. The summer sun is blasting down from the heavens, and off in the distance, I see the town of Hooper. My instructor back at Bridal Falls sent me here to revisit Hooper, a town I've been to before, a town that my brother was at precisely 1 year ago. I believe he shot the previous steward. Now our cousin Clester is, I'm assuming, still the steward. As I get closer, I notice the place looks a tad emptier than last time. My name is Sister Clementine, and I'm a dog.
So you ride into Hooper, yeah, and it's a hot summer day. I think the main difference you see from when you were there this winter is there's not many people. Like, nobody wants to talk to you, it seems.
I try to ride in pace with my brother, as like kind of unconsciously close to him, and I exchange a glance with him. Brother, is this about your coming back here, or my coming back here, or what all is this?
Well, you were the last one here. Looks like Brother Clester maybe wasn't the man I thought he could become.
I would ride on ahead in the direction of that church.
Sure. Yeah, and so it's that church that you walked out on after delivering a sermon, like 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few people in there, but you don't see Brother Clester. Out through one of the windows in the back is Sister Edis. And you'd recognize her because she got kicked by that horse, if you remember.
Yeah.
She's quite a looker.
It shows, yeah. I hop off my horse, but ask Edwin to stay on his and to keep his rifle nearby. That something just smells wrong here.
Sure.
Walking to the back, I'd address one of these people milling about, maybe someone younger, maybe another woman,
Okay.
and ask them what sour wind has been passing through this town since the winter.
And she kind of spits. It's that dang New Hope. They're abandoning our town, and Sister Edis is trying to fix it, but somebody's got to do something about it.
New Hope, that's Zachary's town. I'm gonna take a stab at that.
That's right.
Huh. Ma'am, hold your saliva for just one moment. In what direct way are they inconveniencing the good people of Hooper?
And she looks around, and she's like, well, you should talk to Sister Edis about that. And she gives a little curtsy.
Yeah.
And walks off.
Keep the horses saddled, Edwin. I'm going to talk to the woman of the house here. And I say that with full knowledge that she was clearly the one calling the shots last time I was here.
Yeah.
I puff myself up. I pull on my braid self-consciously. My shoulders are straight, and I stride back to the back of that church where Edis is.
Sure. They probably live there because he's the steward. So I imagine their house is right there. She's on their porch and has a couple daughters doing laundry. And she's just sitting in the shade fanning herself.
Sister Edis.
Sister Clementine.
It's a hot day, isn't it?
Mighty hot. Would you care to join me up here?
Let's sit in the shade together, you and I.
Yeah, and so she invites you up on her porch. Yeah, it's a pretty modest house. It's, 1.5 floors. There's probably a bedroom upstairs, with a full covered porch.
Sister Edis, I left this town in a position to prosper, what with the removal of Brother Zachary and all. Why does it seem as if the King of Life's gaze has turned away from the good town of Hooper since I was here last?
You did indeed leave us in a good position, except for that you left that demon Zachary alive with his handsome charms, his convinced unfaithful to join him and start a new town. And now they are banditing our town, stealing our supplies, to make their new town. They are attacking the faithful.
Now, sister, Brother Zachary was a good man. He was just the wrong man. And I have a lot of trouble believing these claims of attacks.
Good man at taking what he wants.
Mm-hmm. And if you do not have the steadfastness in your faith to turn a self-reliant community into something that can stand on its own two legs, I worry a little bit about if I can just leave here and expect to have anything but a blasted hole in the earth remaining the next time I come on back. So, may I please talk with your husband, my cousin, the steward, and we will address this promptly and directly.
And she crosses her arms and she says, he's unwell.
Going to stand and walk directly facing her and ask her, what did you do to my cousin?
I haven't done anything except for tend for him, but he is unwell. He is not fit to be seen.
So it's a town without a steward, then?
Well, no, I'm taking care of all the business that is required in Hooper.
You seem awfully comfortable with this position of seeing a vacant spot for a steward and coming into your own, and yet your stewardess capabilities do not seem mighty impressive. Perhaps a new steward is needed of this town.
And will you and your brother come and shoot Clester now and make another new steward? Is that how you're going to solve this problem too, Sister Clementine?
No, I intend to kneel in front of my cousin to ask the King of Life for direction of what to do to find a more deserving steward for his grace. And if you stand in the way, then yes, my brother will shoot again. And I'm just dead-eyeing her. I'm not going to take... Because of the way we left things last time, I'm not letting her take an inch from me.
Yeah. So I think she backs down then. She's like, all right, follow me. And she takes you inside and up to that bedroom upstairs. And she like stops at the top of the stairs and like points you on. And there's like a closed door up there.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little worried, actually. I mean, this is family of mine, and I don't know quite what he's unwell with. But, yeah, I'll nervously tug on my braid again and open up the door.
Yeah, and it's boiling hot in there. You know, it's an uninsulated top floor. It just stinks. It smells like hot urine. It's super stuffy. And you see, the small form of your cousin, Brother Clester, in a bed, fully wrapped up in blankets.
All right, I take a knee at his side. I produce the Book of Life and a jar of consecrated earth, and I ask him gently, I say, dear cousin, what does hurt?
You see his face is like, he's covered in sweat, and he's kind of like blotchy, almost unnaturally. You've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
You're not sure if it's contagious. I don't know. Are you worried about that? Or
because it's family, I think it'd be horribly impolite, and yeah. So yeah, I would be holding a cloth to my mouth for anyone else, but it's family, so.
Okay, yeah. He says, I'm unwell. I think Brother Zachary has cursed me, but Sister Edis has everything under control. And she like pats your hand. Or, excuse me, he pats your hand.
Dear cousin, I'm awfully sorry about this, but this is for everyone's good. I start praying right there to the King of Life, praying that this man's position of stewardship be no longer acknowledged by his light, that the order will find another, but that he no longer wears that mantle, you know? And that I wish him the best in this life or another, but that the King of Life will see fit what to do next. So I imagine there's a little bit of ceremony about that, like the consecrated earth makes its way onto the ground in a kind of circular formation. I would with my fingers kind of draw out the tree of life on the floor there, and I'd be reading from the book and praying for direction and whatnot.
Brother Clester is probably kind of in and out of it. He's in a fever state of some sort. So he's not super aware of what's going on necessarily.
Yeah. Cousin, with that said, I will go to New Hope. I will ask Brother Zachary if there's someone who can give medical attention. I will instruct Brother Zachary to find what is best for these people, whether it's elect a steward or take them into his town. And I will demand he show sign of any wrongdoing if demons are indeed at work. But it is in my hands now. I'm here with my own brother, Brother Edwin. We two will take care of this. And you are a steward no more. But I do love you dearly, cousin. And just want to, hand on the side of his face. And then I look away because I can't stare at him much longer.
Sure.
It's been painful,
Yeah.
Yeah. Sister Edis, may I first say, I'm very sorry about what you've had to go through with your husband, my cousin. It's a very sad thing.
Brother Clester is a pure soul, and I just wish he wasn't being beset by demons from New Hope and that spiteful brother Zachary.
And Sister Edis, this is what concerns me, because this man, my cousin, needs to spend every last moment he's got with his loving wife. And so, no longer having the mantle of stewardship, you now have more time on you. You don't have to see for these people of this town. I've taken that stewardship away. And now my brother and I, we will ride to New Hope. We will find another steward for this town.
From New Hope?
We will find another steward for this town, or have the people of Hooper join those of New Hope. One of those two things will happen, and either way, while I am there, I will see if there is evidence of sin or demon. But the responsibility is out of your hands.
When I wrote Bridal Falls to help solve our problem, I did not expect they'd send someone inexperienced like you back again for a second time. Very well, dog. Make your judgment. And she, opens her front door.
All right, I stride to the front door and I say, I thank the King alive that I have experience dealing with the likes of you. The proper authority will take care of this, and good day. And I slam her own front door behind me.
Yeah. Edwin sees you coming from the back, probably in a huff.
Yeah.
And he just kind of smirks, and he's like, how is fine Sister Edis? I'm sure she took whatever news you had quite well.
Our cousin is very much unwell. This position of stewardship did not take kindly to him. So, we ride to New Hope. We find help of some kind. And brother, I appreciate your being here. If any sins have been done on this ground, surely we will absolve them by the time we leave. Let's go.
New Hope it's only a few miles. It's towards the mountains. It's kind of tucked into the base of the mountains. I like to think Hooper has some sort of stream or something. That's why they built it there. And so this is upriver of that, where that spring starts from the base of the mountains.
Right.
There's one road that they're working on, and there's a church that's finished, but all the other buildings are kind of under construction. Mm-hmm. There's probably people who live in New Hope that didn't even move, you know?
Right.
It's just the town they go to now rather than Hooper. But there's definitely some people who are planning on making their home in New Hope proper. As you get closer, you hear people singing hymns, almost as they work, and you hear that hammering, construction being done. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a totally different mood than
everything stunk of death in the old town. Yeah.
And so there's this kind of optimism. 6 riders come up and meet you outside of town, and one of them is Zachary.
Right.
And Zachary looks, you saw him 6 months ago, but he looks like he's aged 5 or 10 years. Mm-hmm. He's a strong man in his late 20s or 30s. Pretty big guy, but now he's got gray on his temples, crow's feet starting around his eyes. And he looks at Edwin.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're not welcome here.
So I'm riding beside Edwin, and I'm close enough that I can actually reach out my hand and put it on his. And I look at him, and I don't know if he really sees me. I don't know where he is right now, but I know this could get very bad. And so I take a few steps forward on my horse, and I raise my hand to address Brother Zachary, the man whose brother, my own, killed this time last year.
Hi, this is Jason from The Gauntlet. If you enjoyed this episode of Comic Strip AP, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. We have many other Comic Strip AP shows available, each organized in their own sequential playlist for easy listening. Just go to youtube.com and search for Gauntlet RPG.
He says, I'm unwell. Yeah, duh.
Sorry. And the incredibly unwell man says, I am unwell.